am down here with Chris Sosine in the Aftershock pit. You guys did an incredible job in that game versus Infamous where you beat them. You're going up against Dynasty now, who beat Art Chaos 7-2 earlier in the day. How are you feeling going into this? Do you think you can have the same outcome you did earlier?
Yeah, as long as we keep playing the same way. Everybody's playing smart, slow paintball. We're shooting our lanes on the break, so as long as we do the same thing, we should be able to capitalize and beat Dynasty going tomorrow 2-0. So.
Are we going to see any aggressive Aftershock plays like we usually do, or are you going to play it safe?
That's all up to Bruno. I'm personally not going to do anything aggressive, but I can't say the same about like Carl or Kirk or my front guys. So.
We know that you guys like to be aggressive and play fast, so when you're sitting in those bunkers trying to be patient, is it pretty tough?
Not for me, but I think it's tough for some of my guys because this isn't really their style, but they're doing a great job at adapting to this field and playing smart paintball. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much. Aftershock is going up against Dynasty. We'll see if they can go undefeated today. Stay tuned.
One of the most dynamic squads in the league, Chicago Aftershock is always a fun team to watch. But though they entertain us with their wild ways, they are also starting to cultivate the refined attack needed to not only stay in the Champions Division, but start moving up the ranks. Karl Markowski's game was flashy, fast, and functional at the last event, and he's an explosive snake-side attacker. Ryan McKenna is the team's highest-ranked player, and he had a standout event in Dallas. Leader AJ Lawhead and Rob Velez also turned in consistent performances and are huge assets to the team's push back to greatness. This field layout could be a big boost to off-the-break shooter Chris Sosine, and Kirk Wozni is another fearless player to watch for Shock. This legendary team didn't win many games in Dallas, but they impressed everyone, both peers and fans with their game. And after some much-needed outdoor training time, the PSP Mid-Atlantic Open could see a more favorable outcome for one of the longest-running paintball teams in the world. San Diego Dynasty came a half a second away from defeating Infamous in Dallas and moving on to the finals, but they took the semifinal loss despite a last-second dive from Oliver Lang, last year's top gun. Dynasty is the most successful team in the modern paintball era for a reason. They are amazing at every level of the game. They won the first two events last season, took second in Chicago, and ended up winning the overall season title. They will be a favorite here at the Mid-Atlantic Open. They have smart attackers, some of the best mid players in the game, and back players who are masters at shooting people off the break and closing points. Blake Yarbrough will be pushing down the attack on the D side. Kyle Spica and Alex Frazier will be moving down the snake side. One of the strengths of Dynasty is their versatility. They can move players around to suit whatever game plan they feel will be the most effective, with weapons like Brandon Short and Tyler Harmon. Ryan Greenspan can play everywhere, and since this field will see heavy guns off the break, Yosh Rao and Glenn Takamoto will be big assets. With their depth and experience, Dynasty could very well repeat their performance here last year and take the victory.
Back here, 2014 PSP Mid-Atlantic Open, and Matty Marshall alongside Todd Martinez and Steve Rabakoff. So here we go. Chicago Aftershock was able to win their first match against the team that won the first event, Los Angeles Infamous. That was a good game, but Shock took the victory. Dynasty beat up on Art Chaos in their first game 7-2. Boys, who do you think is going to win this matchup? Todd?
Well, Dynasty did a really good job of getting out to their spots alive by not really going anywhere. Early in the morning, the grass was, there's still water on the field, but it was nice and slick for those slides. Now that a lot of players have run around, a lot of paint on the field, it looks like it's getting a little bit kind of like marshier down there, like kind of stepping in some holes. Right, we'll see if that affects them at all, getting out to that Dorito side on the break, but Ryan Greenspan did a good job of getting out there often for Dynasty. So we'll see if they go, I'm sure they will, go with the double up those two inside bunkers, shoot lanes, then make moves off of that. Aftershock, they were running a little bit wider last match, and Dynasty did a good job of shooting Art Chaos when they made those moves. So, we'll see how Aftershock adjusts if they start getting shot out wide, but I fully expect Dynasty to go with their same game plan of just doubling up those spots, then going that one guy to the Dorito and then attacking that middle. But, we'll see if Aftershock was watching the way Dynasty played earlier and see if they make any adjustments, if they try and maybe go to that middle early and meet them up there, or, if they just going to try and continue with the same game plans that they used to beat Infamous.
Brad, what do you think?
And with Aftershock, the way they're playing this year, they just got that swagger, that confidence. Like they're playing out there. They feel like they belong here. they know they belong here, and they feel like they can win. So they just played Infamous, who just won Dallas, put them 3-1. They showed they could play a disciplined, slow game. Can they do that here? Like Todd said, can they get out wide and slow Dynasty down?
I think that the tough thing for Shock is that, like we always say, every game is a new game, every moment's a new moment. And for Shock, they're going to have to continue to mentally prepare to play a more tactical, smarter game against these top-level teams. It can't just be, oh, okay, we won that last game and played smart, and then revert back to the ways that they had found not a lot of success when they would, do the great. They were always good at attacking. I mean, it was like watching a Shock game. The opposing team should just let them start in the 50-yard lines, but then they would never have, I wouldn't say never, but then very little success ever getting anything done from there. They die out of their bunkers, make dumb moves, but I haven't really seen much out of that in Shock this year. They're playing a much smarter game, much more methodical, still hyper-aggressive. So Shock is starting to very much start to emerge as a strong team and a scary team to play because they are unpredictable and they're not making as many mistakes as they used to. Now we know that Dynasty does their homework as good as any team out there in this league. Rusty Glaze is an amazing coach. They have long meetings, thoroughly thought out, and so expect them to have very competent game plans. So Todd, like you said, Dynasty does that same breakout, but then immediately digging out wide, out on that D side of the field. Still bunched up in the pocket as it looks like Shock trying to spread the field. They stay in the pocket too, though, losing one body advantage right now for Dynasty.
And they went wide going to that Dorito corner, and they got shot. So we'll see if that trend continues on.
Greenspan making a move to the center fortress, and now trying to roll around. Two bodies dropping for Shock. Advantage is on Dynasty's side right now.
And Oliver Lang getting shot. Not sure who got a shot in on him. Nobody out there wide on the Dorito side for Aftershock, but somebody got a shot in on Oliver Lang. Carl Markowski getting out wide on the Snake side. He's able to get up into the Snake now. See if that helps him at all. Four bodies still left alive. Alex Fragy now able to make a bump out on the Snake side as well. Yosh Rao still in that tall tower. Here comes Carl Markowski on the inside. Looks like he's coming to get Ryan Greenspan.
Oh, man. Carl Markowski, full speed head first dive. Was able to, looks like, trades out with Ryan Greenspan. But, hey, man, I'll tell you what. Every single time Carl Markowski does some sort of bunker move, he gets style points for it. Have you ever seen? I've never seen anything like that before.
He gets style points for that. Goes under.
And, yeah, it gets Ryan Greenspan. Ryan Greenspan lucky not to get a penalty on that for turning and spinning on Carl Markowski. So,
God, I'm just shaking my head when I love watching Carl play. He's probably my favorite player to watch play at this point, because you never know what he's going to do. So right now, advantage still slightly on Dynasty's favor. Alex Frazy, Blake Yarber, and Yosh Rao still alive out on the field. Chicago Aftershock, two bodies for them. Rob Velez and Chris Sosine. You're looking at Alex Frazy, back corner bunker on the Snake side. No one on the Snake side right now for Shock. So much better field position for Dynasty. They do have a player far up on the D side of the field. It's Blake Yarber, number 44, and he's going to try to go to work over there. He's definitely got the ball. You're looking at Shock on your screen. You can see the way they're playing that bunker right there, number 24 for Chicago Aftershock. Well, actually, I think that's Velez.
Yeah.
Just got somebody else's hopper. So Velez there is trying to stay as tight as he possibly can, and he's trying to gunfight right now against the man on your screen, Alex Frazy.
yeah, Sosine over there bumped out to that Dorito side corner. So, two bodies for Aftershock, Velez and Sosine, Rao, Yarber, and Fragy for Dynasty.
And if Rob Velez can, I think getting out of that stand-up tower there, or stand-up can, I'd get out of that if he could. And widen up the field a little more and make because then Dynasty's gonna have a real tough time getting down if they're crossed up.
So now Alex Frazy takes a big bite, gets all the way to the 50.
Yeah, and here you go. Yeah, he's gonna have a back shot here shortly.
Yeah, Velez has no idea that he made it. That's, Sosine's got to communicate cross field. Hey, Velez, you need to now tuck in and live on your gun on this D side of the field, or else Alex Frazy is going to shoot you in the back. Communication such a key out here, particularly on this layout. And a lot of people, in case you didn't watch the first event, there is no coaching anymore on the Snake side from the sidelines. You can coach from the stands, but it's a lot harder to hear people way out in the stands. Velez now digging out, not able to get out, and it looks like Frazy is able to get a shot in on him, and now Frazy making his move down the Snake side of the field here.
And it leaves Sosine all alone in that Dorito corner there. And that's why I was saying prior to that, if he could have got wide, he could have stopped Frazier from doing that. But hey, he didn't. Alex took advantage of it, and here it is. Dynasty's going to take this first point. And they did what you said, Todd. They did their homework, and Shock decided they wanted to go wide first point. And they eliminated him going to that Dorito corner on the break. So we'll see how they make that adjustment.
Yeah.
It's only first point.
Art.
Well, let's check out the replay here from Karl Markowski's ridiculously amazing dive. So the reason why Karl is such a weapon is because his burst speed is ridiculous. So once he sees the move, he just dives headfirst, Superman's through there, completely commits. Greenspan has no idea he's coming. And then on the slide through, Karl gets a couple yards past and is able to complete the move and get that shot. And then Greenspan turns around and that's one of those tough things. I mean, Greenspan's got to be careful there and not get that major penalty.
I mean, we're kind of far away over here. I mean, from our view, we're looking directly at it, but from that view on the screen, I didn't see any balls break on Ryan Greenspan, but obviously they called Ryan and Karl out, but Ryan had no idea that Karl was coming. So
yeah, but did somebody pick Karl up? I mean, obviously he was gliding there in the grass for about 5 feet past the center structure.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously that's why the referees get paid, and we're standing up here talking about paintball. But I love seeing that at Karl. I just love watching him play, man, to be honest, because of stuff like that. I mean, who else does stuff like that? Yeah, some people run through the A. Some people will make dynamic moves. But who runs through and just dives in head first, Superman skids for 6 feet, and then shoots Ryan Greenspan in the back like that? No one else other than Karl. So let's check in with our sideline reporter, Lauren, down in the pits.
Hey there, yeah, we're right in the middle of this Dynasty versus Aftershock game, but wanted to bring you a quick update from the Challenger field. Heat played their first game of the day versus CEP, and it was a blowout. They won 7-0. CEP threw a few advantages away when they had 5-on-3s and 5-on-2s, but they couldn't get it together, so Heat won their first game of the day. Back to you, we'll get back to this game.
Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, well, that's what we were expecting to see out of Heat. We thought that Heat would go down. I mean, they got relegated because they lost to Tampa Bay Damage in a close game Sunday morning in Dallas, and which was a huge shock to the paintball world. No one thought that was going to happen to Houston Heat. So maybe we will see them on Sunday trying to win the Challengers Division and make their way back into the Champions Division.
So, doubled up, both of the center bunkers for both teams. Dynasty goes out to the Dorito 1. Karl Markowski comes out to the Snake Temple. So a little bit heavier on the Snake side for Shock, heavier on the Dorito side for Dynasty. I was kind of interested to see how it was going to play out once two teams both did the double up. And it looks like Dynasty is able to take the advantage right away, as AJ Lawhead is going to get pinched out of that can from the Dorito 1, but Brandon Short, miss maybe? No, yeah, Brandon Short gets the same thing as Aftershock breaks out to the Dorito 1.
Well, Todd, that's kind of the scary thing about doubling up those spots, because we've seen it work, but we've also seen tons of guys die out of that spot doing that exact move.
You stay, there's only a certain amount of time you can stay there. You stay there too long, and that's what happens now. They just lost another one, so Dynasty's down another player.
Yeah, and they lose Kyle Spica out of that bunker too. Why? Because Karl Markowski is able to get out wide. Tyler Harmon was able to make it out all the way into D3 on that Dorito side of the field. But he's out on an island right now. He does have there are three bodies left alive for Dynasty. He does have 2 players behind him, but the advantage goes to Shock. They're up a body, and they've spread the field more.
And with Karl here, the next move for him is he gets the Snake 50. Let Dynasty put all those guns on him. Just relax, take a deep breath, and let his team come down the Dorito side.
Listening to Karl, he had a very smart thing to say about the Snake side of the field. You're going to have to gunfight guys. You have to use your timing to get out. But he's still trying to get out there, and he's been doing it. He's been getting out there. So we have seen guys make the Snake. You can make this bunker. It's not like it's an unmakeable Snake structure. You have to, Todd, like you've been saying, it's all about timing.
Yeah, you got to make sure that, guys are going heavy guns up. As you get up the field a little bit into those towers too, some of the good shots don't get as good as with you're standing right there in the flag station. So, if the guy does make it out wide, he definitely has the advantage on you. But, if you're smart, you watch the streams, talk to your teammates, figure out where the guns are, and then make a good, smart time move.
And that's what Karl's going to need to do here. He just needs to somehow find a way to put Ryan Greenspan in a little bit. There it is. There's this move right there. Ryan looked away. Start moving down that Snake side.
Yeah, Karl Markowski Oh, as looks like Sosine gets shot for Aftershock out of that Dorito. But Carl Markowski sneaks into the wedge in between the 50 and the first snake structure.
The move is to get right around, get to snake 50, man. Here you go. Put Ryan in. Now he's gonna make things difficult.
So Carl Markowski
Just needs to
now
play it right here.
in the 50 snake. He's got Velez behind him again. Velez in that first temple on the snake side. Ryan Greenspan got to bail out to this.
And that's a
Dorito
great
side
move by
corner.
Ryan there, getting to that stand up there. Carl was getting ready to creep around and keep going down the snake, which isn't a bad move, but see if you can pick off one before you make that.
And let's see. I think Velez might be the guy that needs to probe around and look to see if he can get a shot somewhere. Shock still has one body over there in that Dorito side corner as well. That's Cliff Ginter. Carl Markowski makes the jump. And it looks like
it puts it right on Glenn Takamoto, back
Ooh,
center.
Nice shot by Carl Markowski, who is just putting a clinic over here on the snake side of the field. Slow, methodical, and
there goes Tyler Harmon trying to
Oh,
make a
look at
move.
this. Tyler Harmon got a red flag.
Yeah, he definitely deserved that one because Velez picked him up about the Dorito one, and Ryan Greenspan the last body to get pulled. So
Coaches are screaming at Carl, it's a major, you need to run.
So Carl Markowski, Tyler Harmon, I mean, that's a good idea, you know, if there's just one guy left there. But, you know, there was two bodies left alive, the guy he was going to go get and Velez on the inside.
And right when he got hit right around that their side of the Dorito, he should have stopped. And
Yeah.
he kept going, and that's why that ref said, hey, that's about 20 feet too far.
Yeah, he got picked up. He got picked up pretty early by Velez. So, you know, we'll see if that hurts Dynasty. But, I mean, that was a long point. 1-1 ball game. Dynasty starting with a major. We'll be right back after this.
Going into these events, equipment's what matters. On our team, we're so talented. My job has fallen into like a role player's position. In order for Kyle or Brandon or Alex to make these moves, they need support so that we can win the tournament. And that's what I'm doing with this LV1. I'm able to go to a spot and get a lot of drop shots on people and really shoot just directly over a bunker where people think they're safe, and the next thing you know, I'm getting those kills. My name is Oliver Lang from San Diego Dynasty, and I shoot the LV1.
so we are back here. This game brought to you by Planet Eclipse. They are sponsors of Dynasty's guns. Make awesome paintball markers. So here we go. Dynasty and Chicago Aftershock all tied up at 1 apiece right now. Taking the field for Shock, Sosine, Ginter, Wozni, Velez, and Lawhead. And it looks like 1 minute and 43 seconds on that Dynasty penalty. And they double up those two back bunkers, trying to shoot Shock out wide to even up a body here. Not able to do it though. 5 players alive for Shock as they try to start to spread the field a little bit.
And Dynasty just willing to stay doubled up in those bunkers game after game. They're just challenging everybody. Shoot us, which they haven't done so well. Here we go. Aftershock here is at the right side of the A.
And Brandon Short sneaks out of that snake side can. He goes up into the Dorito side can. That allows Lawhead to come up into the A. Lawhead gonna get some protection as Aftershock is able to sneak out into the Dorito 1 and now into the Dorito side corner. Sosine behind him. Lawhead looking to make a move. Seeing what he has available. Yosh Rao getting shot right in the face. Not sure where that came from. I don't think it was from Lawhead. Might have been from Wozni or Velez over here on the snake side. As Wozni makes a bump out, he gets into snake 1. And Wozni gets bounced, asks for a check, he's clean. There goes Alex Fragi. He gets shot in the butt a whole bunch of times. That probably came from Lawhead. And here comes Lawhead on the launch. He takes out Brandon Short. And Aftershock gonna run that flag in. Still 15 seconds on that major. Good patience by Lawhead right there up the middle. Really nice move to get into the A. And then realizing once Yosh Rao had been shot. Yeah, I guess AJ Lawhead did shoot Yosh Rao. So good move right there by Lawhead, getting a 2-pack. Chris Sosine getting the other 2 for a Chicago Aftershock.
Hey, Chicago Aftershock is no joke. I think that's the statement that they're making right now. Yeah, lots of game to play here. 10 minutes and 9 seconds left to go. Still 13 seconds on that Dynasty penalty.
But
However,
we are here to play.
Yeah, I mean, Shock is really letting every single person in the Champions League know, you know what, we're never going to be a walkover game again, and we could go 2-0 today. So we'll be right back with some more of this matchup. Stick around.
If you want some summer fun this year, join the JT First Shot Challenge, Saturday, June 21st at the Chicago PSP Open. It's only $75 per team, and all of your gear and equipment is included. This event is all ages 9 and up and requires no experience. There will be prizes for first through third. Teams, you can get a free case of Evil Paint by referring a team to this exciting low-impact sport. You'll also get tips from pros, free tickets, and discounts in the PSP Chicago event. For more information, go to jtfirstshot.com.
We are at OXCC Paintball Park here in Chesapeake City, Maryland. And it's an awesome location for a paintball tournament, man. Or if you live on the East Coast, definitely got to get out here and give it a shot. And right now, Dynasty giving it their best shot against Shock, but Shock is just looking great, man. You know, it's just so impressive how far they've come, and how much, you know, and that was the good thing on this particular, you know, field layout. It was like, hey, can Shock play on a layout like this? Can Shock step up to that tactical level?
And that's what we were saying. Can they play that game that they played against Infamous? Can they play that disciplined, smart
Can
ball?
they do it again?
And they're doing it so far. Obviously, we got 10 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, I mean, this game's far from over. You know, I mean, Dynasty, you know, they won this event last year, and they're definitely one of the favorites in this event. Oh, now Shock losing a body off the break. They actually triple up that back bunker now, and going to try to get out wide. Not going to be able to stay alive out there in the open, and looks like is able to make it in clean. Dynasty still stuck in their bunkers.
Ryan Greenspan made it out of the penalty box, so they're in their exact breakout that they've been doing every game.
Double-edged sword, though. You know, double-edged sword with that layout or with that breakout, man. If you do not get out, you can stop there and shoot your guns. You can't get stuck there if the other team makes it out wide. You have to get those shots in on them.
So Aftershock losing Wozni on the break, and Dynasty, you know, able to get their body out of the box. So 5-on-4 advantage. Aftershock tries to make a bump out to the Dorito side corner and gets clipped. Chris Sosine bumps out of that Dorito tower into Dorito 1, so 3 bodies left alive for Aftershock right now. As Oliver Lang comes marching up into the Dorito 2 for Dynasty. He's gonna jump across into Dorito 3 and start working the outside. We saw him do this a couple times already today. Gonna jump into that pin. Really uncontested on the outside. He's gonna sneak into the Dorito 3 of Aftershock. Nobody sees him until Velez finally picks him up. Lawhead looks like he wants to try and get into the snake.
And that's the move to make. He needs to get in there just to slow down Dynasty from going down that Dorito side somehow.
Yeah.
Because it's just, Rob Velez is just in a bad spot in that stand-up can, that snake can.
Well, this is a good chance for Dynasty to try to even this game up. Lawhead, Velez, and Sosine, only players left alive. Velez takes one out of his bunker. So just 2 players left alive right now for Shock. No, Lawhead walks as well. It's just Sosine. He gets destroyed. And here comes San Diego Dynasty to put the tying point on the board. So we knew Dynasty wasn't going to go quietly. But you know, hey, man. Good job by Dynasty. 5 players left alive for them at the end of this point.
And Bruno, I think he should just keep Paul Markowski out on the field for those guys right now. Just don't take him up. Right now, until proven different, he should stay on the field.
Yeah, he's definitely he's looking really good out there, man. He's found his form that made him one of those to-watch players back in the day when he was first coming up. So yeah, man, tied up game here. 8 minutes and 8 seconds to go. We'll be back after this.
This isn't isn't just a field. This is my home. This isn't just a team. This is my family. This isn't just a sport. This is a way of life. This isn't just a league. This is the MSXL.
So we're back. 8 minutes and 8 seconds to go. We're here at OXCC Paintball Park for the 2014 PSP MAO. And man, second stop on the PSP tour. And we've seen some great games so far. Legion took down CEP this morning, along with Thunder beating Excessive. And then Dynasty took down Art Chaos, and Infamous was defeated by Chicago Aftershock, team we're watching play Dynasty right now. And then the Ironman took down Art Chaos, close game there, 4-3. Art Chaos almost tied it up at the end. And then right now here, split screen breakout. Dynasty on your right. Chicago Aftershock on your left. So Chicago Aftershock, look at that, stopping in the box and now getting out and finally gets clipped. That was a tough play right there as Lawhead, and then looks like might have a major penalty there. Referee in there checking him out. No, he just pulls out Velez. So two bodies dropping early for Shock as Lang tries to get through. Some penetration for Dynasty, and these two players for Shock are stuck in that back bunker. There's Greenspan in the center. Dynasty looking pretty good this point here, looking like they're going to go up 1.
3-on-2 right now situation, but Alex Frazier is going to jump into that 50. Sosine getting shot, and looks like that last player for Shock going to walk out right now, getting shot in the back. A lot of confusion over there as Oliver Lang came through the middle. All those bodies were getting sorted out for Aftershock. You know, Yosh Rao had got shot in the goggles. Referees were looking over it. That had bounced as well. Referees were trying to sort that out. Yosh Rao, by the time he turned around to look forward again, Oliver Lang was on Aftershock's side of the field.
Just wheeling and dealing.
Just wheeling and dealing. Ryan Greenspan's like, oh, I guess I'll just walk up to the X right now and then see what's going on.
If he's just going to keep going, I'm just going to follow.
Yeah, so then Alex Frazier's like, boop, straight into the 50 snake.
Well, Ryan getting 2 kills, Alex Frazier getting 2. So solid work here from Dynasty to take the lead again from Chicago Aftershock. Still a close game, though. Looks like a timeout has been called. That's a pretty smart timeout there. So yeah, Aftershock calling that timeout. So Rab, if you were down in the pits right now for Shock, if you were Mikey Bruno, what would you be saying to the boys?
Hey, we were up 2-1. We're down now. Hey, let's get it together. Stop arguing with each other, because they look like they're confused these last 2 points. It just looks like old Aftershock here. So that's just what I'm seeing right now. So I would just calm them down, good timeout, and just put Carl back out, because that was 2 points in a row that he hasn't been out. So I'm sure Rennick's watching back home going the same thing. Why isn't Carl out there?
Todd, what are you thinking?
I don't know. Maybe Carl's hurt or something like that. Can't figure out. But, I mean, they did well when they just matched up Dynasty's same game plan and then kind of played it out. So, you know, if I was Aftershock, that's what I would do again, you know, try and get back on the board instead of, you know, in that tied point, trying to get out too wide. So, I don't know. We shall see.
Well, that is definitely the difference, because if Shock can do that same game plan off the break, stay alive, and then because they're a little bit more aggressive than, by nature. Not saying, obviously, Dynasty's not aggressive. They are. They got some awesome guys on that squad. But that being said, that's what was working for Shock, so they might have to work with that again. 6 minutes and 58 seconds to go, and while we're on this timeout, take a quick break. We'll be right back. Looking into the pits right now. Looking into the pits right now. Look, it's Blake Yarber.
Just got a little mud.
Yeah, it's just a little bit muddy. Yeah, the field is definitely, you know, and much more so on the side that that Aftershock is on right now. The right-hand side of your screen is definitely getting a lot muddier than the left-hand side of your screen. So that's something that definitely plays a part. You know, when you're diving into a puddle,
it slows you. These guys are a little bit slower on this
so
side.
depending on what side of the field you're on, you know, as these teams switch back and forth, you're always going to know who's on what side of the field by the scoreboard. So whatever team you see on the left side, they're going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. That's the way to tell. But that does play a factor. I mean, we've all played mud bogs before, and it's just, I mean, even though this grass did start out pristine, you know, and the OXCC staff did a really good job making sure no one played on this field for months. Actually, this field was literally virgin landscape before the first point was played today. But, you know, guys are diving into the same spots game after game after game after game, and those holes are just going to get muddier. And as long as it'll stay dry, it'll be cleaned up a little bit. Karl Markowski sends a huge rooster tail up and then gets out. Looks like he might have got clipped in the back or on his shoulder. He's getting checked out by the referee, but it looks like he's clean. So Karl Markowski, again, just like you're saying, Rab, they put Karl in, and sure enough, he's able to make it out wide to the hardest spot on the field to make it out. There's 3 guns on him.
But here, Oliver Lane's going to the left side of the A. Aftershock lost 2 players on the Dorito side, so he's going to start pinching these guys out on the right side here. They're just slowly picking him off. And when Aftershock made that A, he forced it too fast. He just needs to get in there and stay alive, man. Don't force it.
You know, so Dynasty with a slight lead here with 6:17 to go. Carlin's getting shot out of his spot. Here comes San Diego Dynasty. Here comes Oliver Lane past the 50-yard line, chalking up bodies. And they concede the point. Shock throwing the towel in on that one. And that will take Dynasty's lead to 2. 4-2 will be the score. Tyler Harmon, Glenn Takamoto, Brandon Short clocking in, getting kills. Ginter got shot by Harmon. Markowski was taken out by Glenn Takamoto. And A.J. Lahed got shot by Brandon Short. So Chris Sosine and Karl Markowski are the kill count leaders right now for Chicago Aftershock. Oliver Lang continues to be the kill count leader for San Diego Dynasty.
Yeah, Oliver Lang just reading the situation, coming up, coming through the center of the field. I mean, he was good at this in 1999, 2000. You know, add in an extra 14 years of experience and games in U.S., in Europe, and all over the world. You know, the amount of games that this guy's played, all the different situations that he's seen, you know, and what's unique about Oliver Lang is just ever since the beginning, just his bravery, you know, to be able to take those risks in practice and then go and take that all throughout each tournament that he plays, and just having the confidence to be able to make those moves because he's done them so many times is the reason why he can come out here on any day, look at any layout and be like, that's the bunker where I'm going to go shoot somebody on the break. This is the bunker I'm going to launch from, and this is the route I'm going to take through the middle if it opens up on either side. You know, we saw him dominate in the snake, saw him dominate down the Dorito side. You know, but my favorite game to watch is when Oliver is shooting somebody on the break and attacking through the middle, because there are very, very few people now that can do the things that he does, reading that situation. John Richardson was one of those guys. You know, it's just like the guy's amazing. You know, Justin Rabikoff, Chris Lasoya. You know, Chris Lasoya and now Justin Rabikoff. You know, definitely one of those guys. Like, that's why I love watching paintball, man.
Yeah, I'd love to watch it too.
When people don't see it coming, and then they just get blasted to bits.
So here now on the breakout, there's Karl Markowski now moving towards the center of the field.
And they're trying to do that, so they're trying to find a way to stop Dynasty. Now Dynasty's going to do their standard breakout, which they've done every game it's worked, and they're going to launch out. So they're going to try to be in a position maybe to pick one of those guys off, because right now Dynasty's just doing what they want.
Well, Alex Frady just got shot in the front of the loader. That should be a penalty.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's going to be a minor maybe.
Oh,
no, there's
no.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you could tell by his body language he couldn't really tell. That I mean, that's one of those hits that is really hard to tell.
Well, what was funny was the referee looked at one flag, looked at the other flag, and then didn't throw any flags.
and Alex was like
that's what I was laughing at.
Yeah.
The referee's like, oh, that's a penalty. Nah, I'm not going to throw it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with that, though. You know, it's tough when you take those hits that you can't see off the break, and then, you know, you get a penalty for it. So now 4 bodies left alive for Dynasty, and they are in the back bunkers. No one has moved past those back line of bunkers. A little bit forward, but No one's made any forward progression. Shock, on the other hand, they have 2 players in a little bit better field position in Lawhead, Carl Markowski, 2 of their best attackers. And but those guys are kind of zoned in with less than 5 minutes to play here. They're down 2. Really need to be looking for those open lanes and going to have to push forward. They have no choice.
And if they're going to try to win this point, they want to win this point with at least 2 minutes, 50 seconds left, 2:25. If they're going to try to pull this off and tie this game.
Carl Markowski looking to creep right now. Dynasty looking to lock this field up. Over there hard on the Dorito side. Looking down the wire, Yoshirao again just hammering the snake side of the field. Aftershock.
And you think one of these guys, one of the Aftershock guys, either Carl or the Dorito can would be able to launch to that A. Because that A, if you can get in there, you can really start picking off some guys. One of these guys need to make that move.
Yeah, now, so, you know, the game is going to slow down for Dynasty because they're up 2 points and only have, there's only 3 minutes and 57 seconds left to play. The ball is completely in Aftershock's court. They have 5 bodies alive, and they have to push forward. There goes Carl Markowski. He makes his move to the 50-yard line, but did he get picked up? I think Carl made it in clean, and then Lawhead plays off that, and he moves up as well to the center 50 fortress.
All right, now Carl just start rapping a little bit. Start pinching these guys and
yeah, and though they need to push forward, they have to make sure they do it and win the point. They cannot make this mistake, but this is the test right now for Shock. This is where they normally start failing, is when they get to those 50s and they have to push forward and they're doing it into guns and they start getting chopped up. So can Aftershock evolve their game right now and take this point victory to pull within 1?
Yeah, Carl, this is another Carl move. Get down to their side of the snake.
Yeah, this is what he did last time.
This is what he needs to do, man.
Here comes AJ Lawhead. AJ Lawhead comes up, and I think he got the shot in. Did he trade out? So AJ Lawhead gets taken out, and smartly, Dynasty's player in the D side just hid. I think that was Oliver over there. No, Oliver did get taken out, so Oliver trades out with Lawhead, and then Yoshirao tries to get out wide, and he gets taken out by Carl Markowski, so it's just 1 player left alive. It's Blake Yarber, back corner bunker. Aftershock on the attack. Velez streaking towards the center, and Blake Yarber fighting as hard as he can, but it's not going to be enough. But Carl needs to get that flag and hurry and run it in. I don't know why.
I said if you're going to win this game, leave 2:25.
Maybe Carl is hurt, man, because normally, or tired, or I don't know what it is, because normally, you know, Carl's been around for a long time, and he's kind of, let's see, he's not gimping around, and now he's jogging, so I think he's okay, but, you know,
or maybe trying to save some energy.
I don't know, but it's one of those things, though, man. I mean,
it's 4-3, man. You need to run that flag on as fast as you can and save it, all the clock you can. And we were talking, hey, if you're going to try to win this game, 2:25, 2:50 gives you enough time to possibly pull out and tie this game.
Well, we got ourselves a nail biter here. 4-3 is the score. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to go. We're going to be right back with possibly the conclusion of this match. So getting done here with the morning's competition. Not quite yet, though. We still have 1 game remaining. After this, it's Los Angeles Infamous taking on the LA Ironman. That should be a good one. The Ironmen have a victory today. Infamous took a loss, so Infamous is going to have to send the Ironmen to 1-1 in order for them to go 1-1. Because if the Ironmen win that game, they will be 2-0, and Infamous will be 0-2. And then we're going to have a little short lunch break, and then we'll be back with the afternoon competition with the next bracket of X Factor, 187 Crew, Vicious Damage, and Impact. Todd, who are you favoring in the afternoon bracket? Who do you think's going to take that one?
I don't know, man. Vicious is really looking just awesome. You know, we got X Factor Crew, they're all right. Impact, they're all right. You know. I don't know about Damage this event. So.
Well, let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She's down on the sidelines.
Frasian Dynasty's pit. It is 4-3 against Aftershock. Aftershock has been really impressing me during this entire season so far. What are you seeing a little different? They're sitting in their bunkers, they're being patient. What are you seeing that is different about these players that they didn't have last season?
Well, I think they're really falling into a groove. They've got Mike Bruno as their coach. He does a stellar job, has a ton of experience, so I'd attribute a lot of that to him. And also, I'd attribute it to their guys sticking together. I mean, they're a group of young guys that have been playing together for like 4 or 5 years, so that's the key.
I heard you guys kind of talking strategy back here in the pit. What do you see them doing that you need to kind of counteract to make sure you keep the lead?
Well, right now we're just up on points, so we're going to play, to hold them off. They have to come.
All right, we'll see if they can do that. It's 4-3. Aftershock has a chance to tie it up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they do have a chance to tie it up. But when you're in this situation, when it's low on time, one team has to push in the other team, and that team is going to try to not give them anything to work with. A lot of it comes down to how many bodies drop off the break. Both teams are going to be at five strong. So depending on, can Shock shoot a body or two from Dynasty? It's going to be tough because Dynasty's not going to give them anything. They're going to go with that standard 2-2 doubled up lineup in the center and stay in the pocket, and then maybe send someone out D1, maybe even go somebody in the back. And I don't know. We're going to find out here shortly, about 20 seconds. Also, do not miss out. The PSP Chicago Open, June 20th through the 22nd. It's going to be held at one of the best fields in the world, CPX Sports, a little outside of Chicago in Joliet, Illinois. Go to pspevents.com. Get your team into the fight. 181 teams here at this event. It's awesome. And we will see the best divisional teams playing on Sunday. So
register and pay quick.
Yeah.
People lost their spots here.
Yeah, and the PSP is doing everything they can to accommodate all the teams, even adding a slightly different format with the max format, just trying to get everyone into the tournament.
They got Shock tripled up the Doritos tower, but Shock's moving out real quick. And as I said, that Carl McCarthy went to the snake on the break, so 2 minutes left. Keep finding a way to go down the snake. As I say that, Lawhead just gets blasted in the head.
I mean, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but Lawhead looked a little confused out there in that point.
I think Lawhead got shot in the back of the head by his own team.
Oh, that's why he was confused. He got his bell rung by his own guys.
Yep.
Well, Carl Markowski is in the snake. He's in snake 1. SoSeen, though, drops his body behind Carl, so it's really going to be up to Carl. He is in the driver's seat here in the snake, but 5 bodies alive for Dynasty, and they are just going to hunker down and give Aftershock nothing to look at but the tips of barrels and edges of goggles and loaders. So it's going to be very tough right now for the 3 players left alive for Chicago Aftershock to tie this up against the 5 strong of Dynasty. Short, Takamoto, Greenspan, Spica, and Harmon out on the field right now. Foley, Carl Markowski, and Velez. Here comes Carl Markowski, big move. I do not know if he was able to get Spica, and he gets torn up though. Spica was able to stay alive. Let's see if Carl Markowski is trying to point out and say, hey, I shot him in the leg, but...
Oh, he is shit. Looks like he's telling me he's shot in the foot.
Does he have a mark on the back of his foot?
Yeah, Carl shot him.
Yeah, it looks like from here that he does. But, so now Dynasty on the full attack as only 1 player left alive, and it is Velez, the last player to drop, and that is going to do it as under a minute to go here. So Shock with going down 2, having no chance of, and it looks like Dynasty is going to slow walk that flag in and take this victory here against Shock. That's going to send Shock 1-1 on the day, and Dynasty will go 2-0 and with the best performance so far in this bracket. And that makes things in this bracket, guys, getting a little bit interesting here, completely contingent on what happens in this next matchup here. So it looks like but they're definitely going to hang that because they're going to want that point spread because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So the final score will be 5-3 in favor of San Diego Dynasty. And then next up, we have Infamous and Ironman. So that sends Dynasty to 2-0. Shock is going to be 1-1. And things are going to get pretty interesting here. What do you think is going to happen in this next matchup, Todd?
I don't know, man. Ironman, they won that game fighting through a lot of penalties. I'm sure Shane Pestana is going to go back and talk to him about, not getting those penalties. Maybe, I thought that they played pretty well, other than having to fight down Infamous. They're already down 1 game, so they're going to have to come and try and get a victory here. And I'm sure Infamous, losing that close game to Aftershock, the way that they lost that game to Aftershock, I expect to see some adjustments in the game plan. So, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a good game. Could go either which way.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's really a toss-up, as you know, Infamous took that loss early on. Ironman very hungry to reassert their team as a championship caliber team. They're not there yet, but like you said, the fact is we're watching some of the highlights, and you know, we've seen. Yeah, that was Todd. You were definitely looking at that last one. Oliver definitely probably should have got a penalty. Definitely should have got a penalty on that one. But you know, some stars are performing out there, and you know, as we're watching these highlights, man, I kind of like it actually. We're seeing some games that are a little bit low scoring, but they're still exciting games.
And we talked about this yesterday, just going over this schedule here. Like, they're all great games, and anyone can win this game. And like you said, who's going to make it to Sunday? Actually, on Friday, who would go 0-2 possibly? And right now we got our Chaos and at 0-2, and we didn't.
Crazy.
A lot of people on the internet said that wouldn't happen. So
well,
that's why you got to play the game, right, Todd?
That's why we shoot the paintballs at each other.
That's
well,
right.
let's before we sign off for a quick break before this next matchup, let's check in with Lauren Kelly down on the sidelines.
I am down here with Kyle Spica from Dynasty. Dynasty has gone undefeated for day one here in Maryland. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, personally, how do you like this field layout?
When the field layout first came out, it's a little tough. You know, the percentage of getting out to those outside bunkers, even that first snake bunker, that Aztec is really hard. So, you know, it's really coming down to who's being more patient on the field. And you can maybe make it out once in a while, just taking a chance, but it's really tough. So it's really you're waiting out the other guy on the other side of the field and then taking the chance when you can. So everyone's shooting a ton of paint out here, and games are going a little slower than I think everyone thought it was going to be.
So run through that snake side with me. I can't see it too well from over here, but as we see the layout, we know that it's tough to get in there. What is your best strategy off the break to get in there? Do you have many chances?
So that little wing going up through the middle is pretty good too, because it kind of draws some guns forward, and then either you can go or the guy behind you can come out. But even once you get into the first snake, it's tough to get around that because there's 2 or 3 people that can lock off those lanes at almost all times. So it's really just being really, really careful on who makes the least mistakes.
So what are you looking for when you want to move down the snake? What are you watching for to know when it's your opportunity?
Basically, which way the guys are, the guns, and just knowing which key spots are shot out, like the Dorito Tower frees you up a lot, as well as the snake can. So those 2 main bunkers are what's really cause a default in your game. So
awesome.
It's tough for me out here being a snake player.
All right, well, you're doing a good job. They went undefeated. Next up, we have Infamous versus Ironman. Infamous lost to Aftershock earlier today. Do you think they're going to bring it back and win against Ironman?
I do too. Yeah. I mean, Infamous is a good team. They just won. They're really good at adjusting. You know, I think they had some big paint problems too the first match, from what I see. We had paint problems as well, but you know, we're kind of just shooting through it. But yeah, I think this will be a really good match. I think Infamous will probably take it though. You know, they have a lot more experience, and once they figure out what was happening last game, is better.
All right, well, we'll see if he's right. Stay tuned. Infamous versus Ironman coming up.